forces are under attack.
Should you become a nuisance, I'll kill you myself.
Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today it's going to be Sacsri versus SnOw here on Blitz Y, an incredibly weird map. Top right, it's going to be our blue Protoss, maybe the best Protoss player in the world right now. It is SnOw. And in the bottom right, a Zerg player who has an incredible rivalry dating back a few years with SnOw. It's going to be Sacsri. Man, there have been epic games between these two players on my channel. If you want to link to them, just go to my main page, which is youtube.com/@FalconPaladin. Actually, just /FalconPaladin, no @ because I am an OG, I guess. And search Sacsri space SnOw, and you will see epic games between these two players, man. So I'm expecting another epic one. This is a DEFCON 1 replay from RJB. DEFCON 1 is the highest level of DEFCON. And yeah, I remember SnOw versus Sulky on this map from the last ASL, right? I think they mined out the map, except for maybe a few minerals from like this base right here. So yeah, this is Blitz Y, a very, very weird map, man. It's out of the map pool now, but yo, some very, very weird games were spawned on this map, right? So, got ourselves an overpool opening here from Sacsri. Very, very careful with SnOw here. And yeah, just pretty much a straight shot up to your opponent's base. It's a two-player map, so you know where your opponent is when you spawn in. And this is an island expansion that you can take. But siege tanks and dragoons and hydralisks and lurkers can harass the gas gathering workers and mineral gathering workers. And yo... All right, what is the play? What is the play going to be here from our two guys, huh? Oh, you are not Nexus. Nope, you are Forge Expanding. Okay, I was like, for a second, I was really worried that was going to be something else, but instead, it's a Forge Expandaroonie. And nothing too crazy, right? Oh, I love this base over here from Sacsri. Oh, man, alive. Okay, so this is where the Probe Scout comes in, right? The Probe says, hey, where's your gas? Where's your second base? Like, what are we doing here? You can't just have one base with a spawning pool, no gas, and no expansion and expect me to think things are okay. Like, are you all right, Sacsri? And then the gas comes in, and he says, still scouting around, still wants to know how many lings are being produced out of these eggs, right? Because if it's drones, no big deal. And there, okay, so this is the third base. And at this stage, I think SnOw has to know, right? He has to know what else is happening here. He has to be aware that something crazy is happening. Because this timing on a hash does not make sense based on the other stuff that's been going on. The drone count, the number of lings, the gas timing, the pool timing. None of this should be adding up in SnOw's head to make any sense at all. So he's going to stay inside the base. Oh, and he jukes back down and escapes, sees the hatch, sees it's not nearly far enough along for it to be a hatch that came after the pool, because it's not. This one is the hatch that came in after the pool. And Sacsri's going 3 base. Is it a 3 base Hydra bust? I don't know. If I was SnOw, I'd be worried about that, though. So we get rid of the probe and immediately upgrade to a lair. We're really trying to keep him out of here, right? Because if it's not a lair, it's a 3 base speedling timing. As metabolic boost is getting thrown up, but only after the gas or the lair got used. So it's not any kind of a speedling flood off of 3 bases, which again is very possible at this high level of StarCraft. I don't cast a lot of those games because, you know, they're over in 2 minutes, but they are definitely very, very interesting. And we did get a couple in SSL. I've been watching the SSL cast from Artosis and Tasteless, or, you know, from maybe the Korean casters, or maybe from somebody else. Then you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to spoil anything, but by golly, some incredible stuff. So yeah, some good series I watched recently. Who did I watch? Most recently, I'm casting this a week before it shows up on the channel, so I mean, obviously what I'm talking about is a bit out of date here, but I watched Queen versus Sharp, which was an incredibly interesting TVZ series. Oh my gosh, it was a lot of fun. But gets back in, sees the Spire timing. I mean, come on. Come on, SnOw's gonna see exactly what you're up to. You can't stop him unless you have speedlings, and if you skipped the speed upgrade, well, mean, didn't skip it, but you just kind of delayed it a little bit. Then the probe's going to get the scout off. So that was a great series. What was the PBT that I watched too? Oh, I want to say it was Sharp. I'm going to say it was Sharp again. No, it was Rush. Rush versus Rain. The R's. That's right. The R players. Rush versus Rain in a TVP series. That was some amazing, smart play. I'm not going to spoil anything else about it if you haven't watched it. But man, watch the SSL. It is incredibly interesting stuff. All right. Well, throwing up a macro hatch over here, which I'm about 90% sure that SnOw knows this base is here. He's just not making a big deal about it. So he's expecting this to be a 3-basing. Zerg, your third base is super far away. You can take it here. But then you kind of got to worry about, this is the main attack path, and you go right past, and it's hard to really wall off. And anyway, Corsairs are coming. Guess what? +1 Corsairs are coming. What is going on? I mean, this is the meta, right? +1 Corsairs. More often than not recently, the games that I've been casting involve +1 Corsair openings. So now we're going to officially scout this base. Because again, he hasn't been down here, but he knows it exists. So he's cruising on down. Some Scourge, 2 sets of Scourge coming in. Let's be specific, Falcon. A Hydra Den just popped at the same time that the Corsair scouted it, which is awesome stuff. Overlord pops in, trying to get some scouting off, but not going to get too deep into the base. Not going to see there's a gateway coming in here. Not going to see a Templar Archives on the way. So it looks like the Spire has just been used for some Scourge. That's fine. That's great, in fact. And maybe the resources will go into Hydras instead. Yes, according to the speed upgrade we're seeing and the missile attack upgrade we're seeing, this is going to be Hydralisks out of Sacsri. So, good scout, right? SnOw saw it. Saw SnOw the Hydra Den, and so it said, okay, this could be Hydras. This could be Mutas. Sacsri, I don't think, is the type of player to go for Mutas necessarily in this matchup. I haven't seen a lot of that from him. But it's definitely in his back pocket. He can pull it off, right? Right. A bit of some zealot pressure here from SnOw. This isn't intended to win the game or anything, but there are actually no Sunkens back here at all, which I'm sort of concerned about. Then he hardwalls with an Evolution Chamber. Yeah, Evo Chamber, hardwall. Third base. It doesn't have any Sunkens either. Zerg players, I know you don't want to sacrifice drones for Sunkens. I get it. But dude, I guess it's sort of working with this Ling Hydra stuff that Sacsri's got going. And yeah, if you spend your larva and your resources on Ling and Hydra, then you can actually send them across the map and try to kill stuff, whereas Sunkens can't do that. Good micro here by SnOw, though. I mean, really nice micro by SnOw. Really excellent. Whoop. Snipe, snipe. Oh, there's a DT out. Excellent. I mean, Storm's on the way, but also we made a DT while we had a Templar Archives. So that's cool. Let's get Overlord speed. We already have Overlord speed. Sacsri, I love you. I do. I like you a lot, my guy. So cannon's coming up. We anticipate a Hydra bust coming. We brought detection with us as well. Ooh, block this DT in. Block him in. Block him in. Nah, you're not shooting these Overlords down, Corsairs. Too many Hydras in the play here. Yeah, chasing down this DT. It is cornered. And it's going to be executed, but it is buying some time for this front door of SnOw, right? Allowing time for High Templar to get enough energy for a Storm. There's the 4. There's the 5. And yeah, that was great. That DT dying, but I don't have time for this High Templar to have enough for a Storm to... Yeesh. Beautiful connection there. And we're going to sit out here and pick away at your stuff because we are Zerg, and that's what we do. All right, Corsairs trying to snipe these Overlords. This guy just running home. Ah, these Hydras, not enough. There are speed lots. They are absolutely ready to kick butt on these Hydralisks, no doubt. Goodness gracious. Okay, further along, Singularity Charge getting fired up. SnOw is rebuffing every single attack that Sacsri is throwing at him, but vice versa too. Sacsri hasn't lost anything either. Maybe a couple Overlords, maybe a couple Hydras, but nothing disastrous here in the first 9 minutes whatsoever. And that's the nature of the beast. All Alright, friendo babendo. What do we got here? Missile attack, carapace upgrade. Lurker aspect finishing up at a pretty good time as SnOw is sharking about the map here. Trying to come down a very sneaky angle into this base. These lurkers need to finish like now. The Corsairs are like, if you're defending yourselves from these zealots, then, oh gosh, then we can kill your overlords, no problem. But the zealots, again, just falling back. SnOw, not a big fan of what he's seeing here at all. Okay, big Hydra hit here, but oh, there are lurkers as well. So, yeah, these zealots are all dead. These zealots are running from the lurkers, so they're not going to die. They're very intelligent boys. Dragoons on the mix here to help deal with the lurks. Don't worry, guys. We're here for you. We timed this perfectly. We knew what Sacsri would do. We knew the timing on the lurker stuff. And we're here to assist, at least until Dark Swarm shows up, at which point it's going to be a bad time for all of us, except maybe back to the zealots who are going to be happy again. Kind of an up and down experience for zealots, right? They're really good until lurkers come out, and then they're really good. Well, I mean, they're really good inside Dark Swarm with lurkers, better than, you know, dragoons are. And then when the Cracklings come out, the zealots feel useless again. Beautiful storms, though. Again, how many times do I say storm in an average PvZ? 27? Probably 27 times, right? Sacsri, the group of Hydras shows up. How many storms does this man have? Can't possibly have any more than this. And look, the storm. No, there's another one. There's always another storm. There's always money in the banana stand. One of my favorite things to say in conjunction with there's always another storm. And in case you haven't noticed, I have been streaming 6 times a week here on this channel. Brood War stuff, replays, maybe some live games, but pro stuff, 4v4 team stuff, Flash games, Bisu games, Jadon games, SnOw games. I mean, I've got all sorts of great stuff here on the channel. So live stream if you want to hang out. Again, I was laid off about 6 weeks ago and trying to find a new job, but also figured as long as I'm also trying to find a new job, I should be working. So I am doing a ton of, I mean, they're 4-hour live streams I'm adding Monday through Friday. In addition to what I'm doing on the Sunday stream, which is usually a 6 to a 7-hour stream. So, a lot of Falcon coming at you last week, and a lot of Falcon coming at you this week. And feel free to join in and support. I'll start at around 1 a.m. to 2 p.m. or 1 a.m. 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Sometimes a little bit later for some of my more American fans who want to maybe watch after work, after they get home from work. But that's generally when I'm live, and if you're on YouTube, you'll probably see that indication. But check it out. Feel free to support me and help me in my unemployment if you want. And if you don't want to, that's also cool. What do we got? Hydras. Another Overlord gets sniped. This group is not a giant group of Corsairs, but they do have the +1, and there are 5 of them. But 4th base is coming in. 3rd base is already rolling from SnOw. We saw him defend this with Storm and take it, and it is his now. Rushing into Hive. Not really. I mean, it's a 13-minute Hive. It's pretty average for the current meta. Rushing would be closer to 9 or 10 minutes. Oh my gosh, we're actually building Sunkens down here at the 3rd base. Sacsri says, I have enough economy, I can afford some drones now, Falcon. Are you proud of me? And yes, I am. I am proud of you for getting Sunkens eventually. Too many Zerg players just don't, period. Lings try to see where the army is, right? Yes, they're all here. Cool. Everybody got dragged up by those Lings, which is nuts. That was 3 Zerglings. 3! Yeah, but I love this rivalry. This might be my favorite PvZ matchup right now, Sacsri and SnOw. And I know that SnOw is a lot more accomplished than Sacsri is. SnOw has way more victories in premier tournaments and major tournaments and stuff. He doesn't have an ASL or an SSL, but that's fine. I mean, maybe by this time he does. I don't know. What's the actual schedule for SSL number 1? Probably doesn't have, probably nobody's won SSL 1 yet by the time this thing posts. But, man, Overlord down. These Corsairs are just finding the angles that Sacsri is not happy about. Not even close to happy about. Burrow, 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 burrow. Burrow, 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 burrow. So, yeah, there's your Adrenal kicking in. Corsairs on about there. We got a Defiler mound coming in. Okay, Lurker, high ground in it. Getting stormed. Yeah, who needs Dragoons to deal with Lurkers? Just storm them all to death. That totally works. Scourge patrolling here in case the drop comes down that way. A pretty popular strategy on this map is the Reaver drop. around this time. Our guy SnOw is not really going for Reavers at this point. It's Storm, it's Zealots, it's Dragoons. And this is well into his Reaver phase, so he's very deliberately not going Reavers yet. But the longer the game goes on, the more useful Reavers are going to be. Obviously, against Zerg, no matter what they're doing. I guess if the Zerg went for a mass, like, Guardian, Devourer, Muta play with Scourge, then probably Reavers wouldn't be very good. But that's not the meta. You can't make that work against Protoss. There's too much Storm for that to work against Protoss. And probably, like, mass scouts at that point would work depending on exactly how many mutas you had. Right, right. Consumes on the way. Sacsri's just desperately trying to hold on until he's got... Oh my gosh, how is this guy? Okay, now it is. So the Corsairs are kind of forgotten in the midst of this battle. A bunch of them die. In fact, these two might die as well because they're just focused on that. Okay, SnOw... They were bringing you so much value there. Why are... Okay, these Lings are all dying without Adrenal, but they just killed an Archon. That's very cool. They just finished and got Adrenal. Get him. Ah, the Archon dies there too. The Adrenal kicks in right in the middle of that battle. Those Zerglings are very happy about that. They're like, oh, thank goodness, we can attack faster now. How does that even work? I mean, I've had questions about this, right? I mean, how do upgrades work for units that are already on the field? It makes sense if you get an upgrade that units popping out of eggs after the upgrade has been researched, they have the thing. Same thing for Terran and Protoss, though. Like, how do units out on the field benefit from the upgrade finishing? Space magic from Protoss. Technology from Terrans, and then, like, I don't know. Like, figure it out? From the Zerg side of things, plagues getting researched. High ground, minerals only location coming in from Sacsri for a 5th base. SnOw's got 4 rolling. SnOw's been on the economy faster than Sacsri has been, but Dark Swarm and Plague are here. Well, almost here is the Plague. And there's no Reaver tech, so I mean, I don't know. This is an RJB replay, so be sure to check him out. YouTube.com/@RJB_TV as this flank attack rolls in. Dark Swarms and goes pachow, pachow. Big time lurker spines hitting there. SnOw falls back to the high ground, says, you don't want to attack up the high ground. There's that sneaky mischance when you attack up the high ground. Oh, that Zealot was trying to retreat. He was trying to turn another leaf. No, he wasn't. He was retreating and then going to come back and kill you later, is what he was going to do. That is the nature of war, isn't it? Like, I think it's against the Geneva Convention to shoot a fleeing enemy combatant in the back, but, like, what if he comes back later? There are practicalities at question here. Plague-oo! Big old Plague catching several of those Dragoons. Really sick stuff here. 166 to 150 supply. And look, if you clicked on this and said, boy, I'm going to watch an easy SnOw win. SnOw's way better than Sacsri. I mean, by rank, probably. But Sacsri has always been able to give SnOw hard times. Even back in the early days, 2017, 2018, before SnOw really had leveled up, into today, when SnOw's really leveled up. And Sacsri hasn't so much. He still gives SnOw all of the trouble. He just has the confidence, I think. Yeah, this game is nuts. 167 to 172 supply. I mean, supplies are fluctuating. SnOw's ahead. I think we can safely say at this point, good lurker spread in this position by Sacsri. We're going to zoom out a bit, get a nice view on what's going on. Okay, good snipe. All right, all right. And then fall back once the storms start coming in. It's okay. We're not trying to get all of it at once. I feel like that's a phrase I've heard in multiple arenas in my life. One of the places in football, American football. Then also in StarCraft, right? Just try to get little trades over and over again. You don't necessarily have to overrun this position. Nice. Double Plague, though. Woo! Double Wiggly Boys. Yeah. Hustling back to the safety of their position. A lot of SnOw's army has been plagued at this point. So this is my fatal flaw with StarCraft. It really is. I'm like, I am Zerg. I am Swarm. And I would take this army and go, A move, go! And then Storm and Archons and stuff would ruin me, and then I would die. Although, I don't know. Sacsri said we're going to go. So, Sacsri is channeling his inner Falcon right now. A move going in. I mean, sure, there are some Dark Swarms, too. That's not A moving. That's definitely more technical play. But He does shove SnOw off this position. Oh my gosh, that Archon is so almost dead. 3 hit points on that dude. Tres hit points on that guy. And he is generating shields very slowly. Much more slowly than he would like to. SnOw's taking that top left base as well, but Sacsri's on a bit of a rampage here. He's plagued all of your stuff. He's Dark Swarming. He's sending cracklings against ya. They've got some upgrades, I assume. 2-2 on the Lurks. 2-2 on the Lings. 2-2 on the Protoss ground unit. So we all have equal upgrades across the board on the ground right now, which is very fun. But yeah, this is the difference. SnOw takes this base, and Sacsri hasn't expanded for a minute. This is not a great map for expanding, is the problem. And the later the game goes, the tougher it can be to find a new place to expand. It's a 2-player map. Those historically don't have a million places to expand anyway. Okay, Archon trying to summon on the battlefield gets completely wiped out. Metasynaptic nodes getting researched. More and more zealots being added in, but the more plague and cracklings there are, the more your zealots maybe aren't as good. Ay, caramba. More Lings, more Hydras, more Lurkers, another plague. The storm, the spellcasting is non-stop right now. Who can bust up this ramp? It's going to be a tough bust, but I think Sacsri, with his 56 worker count, is just going to be able to get up here. This Dragoon is being protected from Hydra attacks by Dark Swarm, which is hilarious, but then the Lurkers do not care because their splash damage comes through. Yeah, this is why you storm inside the Dark Swarm, folks, because the Lurkers are a problem. But they are very vulnerable to the storm. Everything is vulnerable to the storm. What are you talking about, Falcon? If you're a Protoss player and you don't know how to use Psionic Storm, don't play any more matches until you have mastered how to use Psystorm. That's it. That is my recommendation to you today. Although, I don't know if anybody listening plays Protoss and doesn't use Storm, because this is an incredibly obvious point. This is a very slow overrun right now. Sacsri started way down south. Now he's in here fighting like an absolute boss. 3-3, Lurkers all up in here. Zealots are picking him out of the ground. Archons too, but a lot of Zealots are falling by the wayside. And these Cracklings are getting in here with their 3 Carapace. They don't have their +3 attack yet, but I don't know how much +3 attack really matters when you've got the Adrenal. Yeah, these gateways are getting wiped out. SnOw's getting overrun. This is what I'm talking about. This is what Sacsri is capable of against SnOw. I'm not sure there's another Zerg player in the world other than Sulky that gives SnOw so much trouble. It's Sulky and it's Sacsri. And I don't know if that's something that has to do with their names. Both start with the letter S and end with an E sound, but my goodness. Yeah, SnOw's on the full fallback. He's down 40 supply to a Zerg. Sacsri's expanding to the left side for the first time in like 5 minutes. He's taking another base, but he was busy being incredibly patient and slow pushing his way up the center of the map, almost like a Terran. You almost played it like a Terran. These are the siege tanks. These are the vultures. You know, maybe you don't get any spider mines, but you get plagues. Plagues are kind of like spider mines. I don't know. These probes are like, no, not our cannon. This cannon is keeping us alive. Oh, okay, Cracklings get on that cannon in half a second. And it dies. That's it. That's it. GG. SnOw taps out, and Sacsri gets a win. An incredible display of how to play ZVP. Like, I'm sure most of you guys pulled this thing up. If you don't really know the history of Sacsri and SnOw on this channel, you'd be like, SnOw's way better than Sacsri. Sacsri's not even an SSL right now, and that is true. He is not, but my goodness, when it comes to SnOw, he is patient, he is calm, he is collected, he makes great decisions, and he can choke the life out of SnOw like very, very, very few other Zerg players can. That was awesome. That was incredible by Sacsri. Underdog, getting the win. Just holding, defending, didn't really have to deal with much. I know, I hear you guys, Protoss. Where were the Reavers? Sometimes there just aren't any Reavers. Sometimes Protoss decides not to, and it really seems like their win rate's a lot less in those situations, isn't it? 193,000 points, 177,000 points there. Sacsri had the lead, outproduced on a 3-to-1 ratio, outkilled on a 2-to-1 ratio. You do the math. Structures raised 16-0. Not a single Zerg building died here today, and it's an outspend by Sacsri of 7 + 2, 9,000 resources. Yeah, about 9,000, maybe a little bit less. in 23 minutes, which is a giant number. Big fan. Big fan. All right, so GG there, Sacsri getting the win. I'd love to see him better. I'd love to see him like compete in the next SSL and take names and be awesome. But I mean, if you can just take down SnOw every once in a while, maybe that's good enough. I don't know. Probably not. He probably wants to do better, but he can. He's capable of it. So GG. That's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.